Good afternoon and welcome to Rosendale, Wisconsin, the home of the Winnebago RC Flyers Club on this beautiful July 3rd evening. It is warm out, to say the least. I guess this is what I would consider Wisconsin warm. It's about 88 degrees and I'm not exactly sure what the humidity is, but it's not like Florida humidity. What I've got on the stand today is an engine that I have not run since last October, so it's been at least 8 months since I've run this engine. And this is my OS FT-240 Super Gemini engine. Now it's got the same prop that I ran on it back then, which is a 28 I believe, or a 26, I can't recall which. It's hard to read on these master Airscrew props. 2 OSF glow plugs, and the tank contains about 5% nitro fuel. It had a little bit of 10% left in it and I just added FAI to it. Now I've got one potential problem here with this setup, in that I'm not sure the last time I ran it if I had this tank mounted to the tabletop or if I had it here. I do not have the means to change it. I don't have the equipment or the necessary items needed to relocate it down here. So hopefully, to me it looks like the tank position is a little bit high. But hopefully it'll run. Hopefully we can get a good run in, because the last time I ran this in October it was really windy and the wind really detracted from the sound of the engine. So I'm hoping just to get a good run in here. I'm not going to bother with any tachometer readings or anything. I just want to run this engine and enjoy it. So let's see if we can get a decent run in. Alright, so I've already kind of pre-primed it because it was priming itself. I've got a brand new starter, but I'm going to attempt to run this or start this thing by hand and see what happens here. Like I said, hopefully it's already primed, but okay, I shut it down because I know one thing I didn't do last time that I wanted to do, which was adjust this low speed. So I can get a little bit lower idle. Okay, I think that looks like that should do it. Like I said, I've got fuel just pouring out of this thing, so it's going to be interesting to see how it restarts now. So we could have an issue here just because of tank height. between 1150 and 1300 RPM right there. Apparently I've got the throttle stop screw set a little bit too close, but it's not close enough that the engine's dying, which is interesting. It's still wanting to run, and both cylinders are still hot, it seems. Okay, now it finally died. Alright, so that's interesting. Okay, so that was a good run. Obviously the fuel tank position played a role in how the engine ran. It ran okay, but it's not ideal. This tank needs to be lower, closer to the center line. The center line of the tank needs to be closer to the center line of the carb. So I didn't have the means to change it, so I just figured I'd run it. It ran okay, and I think I accomplished what I came out here to do, which was just hear this engine run again. And it ran all right. There were a couple of times when I stopped it and reset the throttle stop screw to set the idle speed, I closed it a little bit too much, but yet the engine would still keep running, even at like 1150 was the lowest RPM I saw there. Now it sounded like it was going to die, and of course eventually it did die here at the end. But as far as when I was putting my finger behind the exhaust, it still felt like they were hot, although throughout the run when it was at idle and I was trying to find the sweet spot for an idle, I did hear a cylinder drop out several times. I'm not sure which one it was. I didn't have my finger under the exhaust at that time, and it didn't stay out for long because I would probably blip it and it would come back. But even when it was just sitting there doing its really low speed idle, it seemed like both cylinders were still firing. It still felt like I was having hot gas coming out. So I mean, this is an incredible engine, needless to say, and it's always fun to run, but I think I accomplished the goal of at least hearing this thing run again, because that's really all I wanted to do, was run it and see what it sounded like. So I hope you enjoyed watching.